Wuxia action RPGs in 2026 are pushing combat speed and intensity to a whole new level. Fast strikes, fluid movement, and precise timing are shaping battles that feel both brutal and controlled. Here are the upcoming brutal martial arts Wuxia fast action RPGs of 2026. Project Windless is a single-player, open-world action RPG based on The Bird That Drinks Tears, set 1,500 years before the novels in a dark fantasy setting where the wind has disappeared, placing the player as a Reikon, a nomadic humanoid bird warrior, moving through a land with Tokabi, humans, and Naga, with gameplay built around free roaming, alliance building, and large-scale combat where hundreds of AI-driven enemies react dynamically alongside encounters with massive creatures.
This world was never yours to keep. How dare you stand in the way of purity, little king?
A Whisper of Fall Jinyiwei is an action RPG set in the late Ming Dynasty, where the player starts as a boatman forced to work as an undercover agent within the Imperial Guard while also serving a black market faction, using martial arts, rooftop movement, and stealth, alongside a deduction system that allows predicting outcomes, solving cases, and navigating shifting timelines across sandbox-style levels while managing alliances and uncovering a wider conspiracy. Woochi the Wayfarer is a single-player action-adventure based on the tale of Jian.
明察秋毫。料敌在前，发先至。
先生可曾听闻千眼之术？
站住！今天这儿被王府包了，不见外客。别动！
追不上了。夜里的兵丁果然少了许多。
王爷有时就回府，咱们怎么还在这当值啊？哎，别乱说。大人，我家的令牌。有刺客，快来人！
未 曾想到，当年跑船的脚夫，如今竟已如此。
还不止如此。
我这多好啊！一味子东西也敢抢，找死！谁也成全你！纵横江湖这么多年，一个荒唐小儿也敢欺我！走到这最后一步，还有谁可以帮你？
一定有办法。这个办法不在庙堂，在那些没人在意的地方，在那些几近无名之辈身上。相信会多人见日，找到答案。
Wuchi the Wayfarer is a single-player action-adventure based on the tale of John Woochi, set in Korea's Joseon era with a mix of historical elements and folklore. Following a Taoist sorcerer who uses magic to confront corruption, with gameplay built around combat and story-driven progression, supported by detailed environments and character models created in Unreal Engine 5, along with music composed by Jung Jae-il to match its setting.
기어코 여기까지. 참으로 정성이십니다.
Project Tal is a single-player, open-world action RPG inspired by Korean folklore and traditional Tal masks. Set in a fantasy setting with varied landscapes and architecture, where gameplay centers on fast combat with vertical movement, allowing players to climb and attack giant enemies while targeting weak points, supported by an NPC companion system where allies take on roles like defense, support, and magic, reacting to combat situations and the player's actions. Black Myth Zhong is a single-player action RPG inspired by Chinese folklore, centered on Zhong, a ghost-catching figure who moves between hell and earth, with gameplay built around combat-driven progression as part of the Black Myth series, continuing after Black Myth Wukong, while drawing from mythological themes and character-driven encounters to shape its structure and setting within a fantasy interpretation of traditional legends.
No scolding, no flogging, life's spared. Why risk going back? This place, we've got food on our table and...
Longevity Yin and Yang is a single-player, action-adventure RPG set in a fantasy version of China's Ming Dynasty, where the player takes the role of a secret agent searching for eternal life, using fast-paced combat with parrying and a void and substance energy system that builds through attacks and dodges to trigger finishers, alongside a hook blade used for movement and combat across a structured story campaign with detailed environments.
也罢，你我识君之路，分君之忧。长生的事儿还得用心去办，速去速回吧。
山里真能挖出来长生不老药吗？那管他呢，有倭人出了大价钱，咱们这买卖赔不了本儿。什么人？
看来上头的线索无误。不过此地已被贼匪占据，还需小心行事。
真来了个不长眼的，想抢老子看上的宝贝！
壁上所绘之物，似是神仙斗法。可这世上，当真有神仙吗？这巨型石像，是何人所建？
无名横妖之世人，以肉身在此，修护持之药物。有些东西不是你该拿的。雷生发，风随雷奔，急急！残去秽。
Genigods Nezha is an action RPG based on Chinese creation mythology where the player controls the Spirit Pearl, a being created by Nuwa and later reborn as Nezha, engaging in combat against colossal gods using dual stances for ground and aerial fighting, along with abilities powered by a divine energy system, while combining relics to unlock skills and climbing massive enemies as part of large-scale encounters across myth-inspired environments.
Or is the answer home, written in the soil?
Mortals, how many times now? Tougher than the blade that took my head. My head molders in Changyang Hill. Your name will molder in memory. Sun. I warm heaven, the very sky you kneel to. We are all bound. The sun for its light, you for your duty, I for my defiance.
Years are too long.
This end.
Phantom Blade Zero is based on Rembrandt, an indie game I made all by myself in like 15 years ago. In 2021,
Phantom Blade Zero is an action RPG built around Wuxia-inspired storytelling, where the player controls Soul, a warrior with 66 days to live after being framed for his master's death, using a wide range of weapons and interchangeable combat techniques called Phantom Edges, while progressing through combat-driven encounters and uncovering a conspiracy, with gameplay combining martial arts and mechanical elements supported by motion capture-based fight choreography.
It's Wuxia cultures with those cool elements from modern entertainment industry, such as steampunk, folklore, and also cosmic horror and such. In doing this, we're going to create something both authentic as well as universal. Our hero's soul was heavily wounded in the heart, so he has only 66 days left to live. With this very limited time, he has to find a way to save himself, as well as finishing his revenge. But on the way, he found out there are some darkness that may destroy the world, and then he changed his priority from saving himself to save the world. But I would say it's neither Souls-like nor hack and slash. We would love to create something in between, something with both the explorations and also fast-paced combat. Some players want accessibilities while the others want challenges. So we will have different difficulty options for both of them. And we want to make each difficulty options unique. The very good thing for PC gamers is they have different ways to experience the game. I think RTX and DLSS 4 are the main features that enhance our game a lot. As a small team, these technologies can get us the top level of graphics. The rain is one of our core environmental features. So having a convincing presentation of anything in the rain is important. And also we have a lot of surrealism scenes that needs to be done in a very unique way. So we count on ray tracing system for this. It's difficult to maintain the frame rate while you have a top-notch graphic. So DLSS 4 and other NVIDIA technologies support us to get a stable frame rate while getting the best graphics.
Tides of Annihilation is a fantasy action-adventure based on Arthurian legend, set in a ruined modern London after an otherworldly invasion, where the player controls Gwendolyn, fighting enemies alongside spectral knights, using a system that allows combining abilities from multiple knights to form combat strategies, while facing large enemies including colossal knights that can be climbed and fought across their structures during battles.
Never forget the sky. Deep in the woods.
The Relic First Guardian is an action RPG set in the ruined land of Arsiltis after the destruction of a great relic, where the player uses relics carrying memories to gain over 70 passive effects that modify skills and combat flow, with a system that removes stamina use for attacks while reserving it for defense and dodging, alongside unique equipment pieces and multiple weapon types supported by skill trees and battles against numerous story-driven bosses.
It was neither a curse nor a punishment. It was a story of someone who lost the sky.
India. A blessed land of noble heroes and...
The Age of Bhaarat is a dark fantasy action-adventure set in ancient India, where the player takes the role of a forest warden defending against Rakshasa forces using traditional weapons, mystical powers, and artifacts, with combat supported by a grappling hook system that adds vertical movement alongside varied environments such as forests, mountains, and lakes, and progression shaped through different abilities and combat styles.
To fight these invaders. The time has come to fight these monsters. The time has come to fight the demons. The time has come to fight those who oppress the forest tribes. The time has come to declare war. It's time for you to join the army of heroes. Fight the monsters! Stand with your people! Play The Age of Bhaarat. Protect the weak. Punish the wicked. Bharat Mata ki Jai.
The hideout is on fire.
The Godslayer is an open-world RPG set in a steampunk metropolis ruled by Celestials, centered on an Elemancer named Cheng, who uses elemental powers like fire, water, earth, metal, and wood that interact during combat, alongside skill upgrades from scrolls and masters while navigating factions within the city, forming alliances, and taking actions against powerful enemies across a setting shaped by technology such as airships and steam machinery.
Do anything rash.
Easy for you to say. Now, how do I get past all the soldiers?
What happened? Again, is it?
And he tells me not to do anything rash.
Mind your business. Damn it! It's an elemental.
What? There you go.
Damn! Stop right there! Where did he go? It's you! He's up there!
Whoa, too many.
Stop! There he is! Nowhere to run down! Don't move! Have a taste of my ass! Put it out! Put it out!
Cool off, you lot. Gonna be cold.
What's going on here?
Here we are.
Fodder, fools, humans. Which is next?
That must be Master.
signal. Come on!
光的预言，无信者的傲慢。
Unending Dawn is an open-world action RPG built with Unreal Engine 5, set in a dark, apocalyptic setting shaped by a catastrophe known as the Day of Unending Dawn, where the player engages in combat based on parrying, dodging, and poise breaking, facing cursed creatures and boss encounters, while moving through varied areas such as ruins and forests, supported by anime-style visuals and a cross-platform structure.
而我回望那道光，背后却是最深沉的暗。我已背起虚妄的神像，重新选择我的命运。只有一个神明值得敬拜。 那就是行于世间的我们自己的信念。即使希望不存，即使苦难永恒，我心中的火依然长明不灭。
《
你败过吗？
The Hidden Ones is a 3D action fighting game based on The Outcast, built around cinematic martial arts combat across multiple modes including story, duel, and trial, where gameplay involves character-based abilities, boss encounters with varied mechanics, and competitive PvP with a focus on balanced play, alongside skill integration systems that allow combining techniques during fights within a myth-inspired setting.
离字火流星，钳子障眼法，百花缭乱。哎，哎。 好大的阵仗！王爷，站住！ 我们可不是那么容易被甩掉的。得嘞，速战速决。
来了。
吾乃气节行道。回龙枪！棋逢对手，当全力以赴。
你逃不掉的！
抓住你了！
给你一口！
往他找！
掌随身变。宣布放荡！
就算要败，我也要知道是败给了怎样的力量。
Last time I defeated you, remember? Do you really think this time the result?
Burning Sword Death Sun is a wuxia hack-and-slash game centered on Zhong Yishan, a sword master seeking revenge, using martial arts techniques, combo-based combat, and chi-powered abilities that must be managed during fights, alongside a skill system that unlocks new techniques with mechanics such as environmental interaction, aerial movement through lightness skills, and a combat structure where difficulty remains constant without selectable modes.
Trained year after year for this day!
Your sword can't even scratch me!
Your emotions have put all of us at risk. I can't let you ruin my plan. My training is brutal as hell.
Millions of souls pour into the underworld every day. You're no different.
Swords of Legends is a single-player action RPG based on Chinese mythology, built around a linear, story-driven structure where the player takes the role of Si Pan, an underworld enforcer guiding souls between life and death, with gameplay focused on combo-based combat, dodging, and parrying, alongside a soul-capturing system that allows summoning defeated enemies for support in battles, supported by detailed visuals created using Unreal Engine 5.
I've watched over this city for ages, and every name in your scroll of death. Not one of them dies quietly. You, a soulless husk. You can judge my fate! Why wrestle rogues when their artifacts can do what brute strength cannot?
What? A soulless husk?
The living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Here we go again.
Death.
Project the Perceiver is an open-world action game inspired by Chinese philosophy and the Lao Zhuang canon. where the player controls the Master of Varietas, using a mask system that grants different abilities and combat styles, with gameplay focused on fast, parry-based encounters, multiple weapon types, and boss fights, alongside movement systems that allow climbing and rooftop traversal across a large environment shaped by conflict and competing ideals.
那就再唱下去吧。到底是人活进了戏里，还是戏本就因人而在？
为何执意要起兵戈之祸？这把剑，我本不想沾血。且让你们体会杀戮之苦。
你来了。戏还没演完吗？唐已经灭了。天下易主，救星不存，你还能为何而战？
大唐之命系于4年，人在，则唐不灭。
天下是苍生的天下，梁还是唐，这2个字重要吗？
大唐福泽万年，逆贼杀戮无道，如何相提并论？
一将功成万骨枯，总有人要在阴影里背负罪孽。你那戏里的唐，真是你心中所念的唐吗？
戏仍未终了，而戏中之人早已不止你我。
Project M is a cinematic action-adventure built around interactive storytelling, where the player progresses through choice-driven sequences that alter events and outcomes, supported by real-time rendering and AI-based digital human technology for facial animation and voice sync, with gameplay focused on investigation, decision-making, and dynamic action scenes, alongside systems that allow interaction with the environment through a concept involving manipulable informational elements.
What would it mean to you if the world was comprised of informational particles instead of physical particles? Oh, I got a little ahead of myself. I am TJ Kemp from NCSoft. Welcome to Project M. How would the fabric of simulated reality change our perceived world if we could tamper with the arrangement of those particles? This very idea is what sparked Project M. The informational particles that shape Project M's world can transform reality based on your choices. And each choice you make will change your experience. The information that exists in the present reality determines how the world will unfold. Value every encounter and every moment. These will be essential in the world of Project M. This is where our journey ends for now. I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Code to Jin Yong is an open-world action RPG based on the works of Jin Yong, set across a version of ancient China with locations such as Huashan Mountain, where the player engages in fast martial arts combat using acrobatic movement and traditional techniques, alongside a structure that includes characters and elements inspired by multiple novels, supported by detailed environments created with Unreal Engine 5 and photogrammetry technology.